Alright guys, we're back here on day 2 of the electric furnace to heat pump conversion job. So I want to show you this real quick. So I had about 5 or 6 boots to spot, and what I like to use are these insulation pins. You can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's. They come in 24-inch long or 16-inch long, and they're really good for spotting holes, especially in hardwoods. You know, if you go on carpet, you're not making a hole that you got to patch. You know, if you do these in a hardwood floor, you're not going to see it. So if your spot's wrong, you got to go somewhere else. You're not damaging the floor. I like to use the 24-inch anytime I'm drilling down into a crawl space or up in an attic, because you need to be able to see this past the insulation. Works really well. If I'm just going through a wall, I do the 16s because they're plenty long enough to see where you're at. So I just wanted to show you that. I spotted the 5 or 6 we're going to do. My brother's down there removing the insulation around where the spotter is, and then we'll piece it back in once we get our boots in place. And I'm going to go start working on the trunk line that's shooting this way down in the crawl, get it connected to that 10-inch we left over there the other day, 14 to 10. Alright, I'm kind of slacking on the videos today, but I got Matt prepping all our boots. So we're going to have 3 of the straight 4/14/8. He's going to screw an elbow on each one. You know, get the flex pulled up over with panduit on the inner liner, panduit on the outer, 2 screws in each. And then we're going to have 3 that are just, because they're toe kicks, 3 that just go on an elbow. And then we're going to dovetail these to drop onto the floor, screw down, seal. And then we have that one that's going through the sidewall, 8-inch. That's just going to be, that's just going to be sticking through the wall. Let me show you what I'm working on. So I got my little my 4x14 pattern here. I know they make those metal ones, but this is fine. That's going to be for all the boots. And I got my Sawzall, my wood blade. I got my paddle bit. I'll go get my drill so I can drill out the corners. And I'll show you the first one here. All right, so I want to be 4 inches off the wall. Should be there. Let's get this a center line on the old template, 7 1/8. I can kind of use the hardwood floor as a guide there. Taking my brother's word for it on these measurements. Just like so. You can see that. And drill out the corners. Gotta love brand new bits. Just like so. Take our Sawzall. All right, I'll continue on cutting. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, guys, I got her all cut. So a couple things I want to mention when you're cutting in these floors. A couple things I would do if this was the finished floor. This is the subfloor that's going underneath a hardwood that they're going to put on here, or a, what do you call them, a parquet floor. I never know what you call those. The click together, the stuff that goes on top of this thick subfloor. To keep that from happening, I would tape off around where my hole's going to be. Plus, I would use a fine-toothed metal blade. And of course, I told my brother I got to be able to trust him, and I ended up cutting a wire. Luckily, there's plenty of slack in this. I'll put a junction box down there underneath the floor over here. But yeah, that's where their TV plugs into, so I'll have to fix that today. Yep. I told him, make sure, and he didn't. So, all right, I'm going to continue on cutting these. All right, we got all our boots cut here. Matt's got them all prepped. Got all my areas swept. Oh, the only one we got to do is that sidewall one over there. That's no big deal. Had a little bit of miscommunication here, probably partly my fault too. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a little piece of metal, half moon over there, half moon it on this side, and just block that off. That'll be fine. It's underneath the cabinet anyway.
Where's your 8-inch hole saw?
There's that one. And then that first one that I did. Let's drag some flex down there. All right, guys, moving along. We got most of these popped up. Just kind of wedged up right now. I'm going to go ahead and secure them all, get them screwed in place, sealed off with mastic. Kind of moving slow today for a Monday. As you can see, I just kind of got them pushed up for right now. I'll show you what it looks like all sealed up and everything and screwed down. All right, guys, my brother had to take off early. Let me show you what I did with these boots. So as you can see, keep in mind, this is subfloor. It's not finished floor. I would never pookie the top of a finished floor. So there you go. Nice and sealed. There's my toe kick there. I'll get a little pan in there before they set the cabinets. Same way with this one. My brother mismeasured this one too, so I had to do a little bit of a patch there, but she's fine. Should be under the cabinets. There's that one. And there's that one. So what I'm going to do, I would like to let that that mastic dry a little bit better, but we're running out of time. I got to get those holes covered up before the kids get home today. So I'm just going to take some of this plywood here, and I'm going to cut some pieces to go over the top of those. Sure to work out fine. All right, guys, I got my my covers over my boot holes here. So what I did was I just screwed it down just to where it's not touching the mastic, but you know, low enough to where the kids can't drop anything in there, or obviously can't fall in there. So if you're covering these up, don't put the stuff right onto your mastic, because then you're going to be pulling up and it's going to be sticking to this plywood. It'll pull off all the strands. If it's metal, it'll pull up half your mastic with the metal. So just screw it down to where it's not quite touching the mastic. You're still doing what you need to do to protect the hole, but you're not screwing it up later when they go to pull this plywood off. And since this homeowner was an electrician, I found myself a junction box. I can go fix that that line that got cut earlier. So I'm going to head down and do that. I didn't get nearly as much as I wanted to get done today, but we got all our flex down here. At least all our boots are in place. So, you know, I got to finish off that trunk line over there, get my cone saddles in. I got to finish up this one. I got lots of wrapping to do. I should be wrapping the pipe as we go, but you know, it is what it is. It's hard to get good help these days. If I could just have somebody I work with just flows really good, then I'd be happy. But it's all right. My brother's doing all right for what, this isn't his trade, so I'm not going to badmouth it. But I really should just have a journeyman to do all this stuff. I'm really getting tired of it. I want to even tell you the real reason I'm down here. I'm going to go fix this wire that got cooked. And actually, I better go check the breaker and make sure it popped. One thing at a time. Oh, God. Well, nothing's tripped. Everything's on, so maybe it's one of these circuits that's off. So I'll bring my little, you know, the little pin, the little electrical pin down there. I know you guys have a name for them. I never remember the name of those. All right, let's bring that down, make sure it's dead before I start splicing into it. All right, here we are. There's the old cut wire. Let's see what we got here. She looks dead. Let's try this other one. Nothing on that one either. Let me find something live, make sure this works. It's the first time I've used this in a while. You're telling me there's nothing running to any of these? Let's go find something we know has power. My cord over here. God damn this plumbing. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So we know it works. Alright, I got my box of love up there. Let me wire nut these and tie them in. I'll put a cover plate over it. Probably tomorrow. It's tight. I hate this insulation. I really do. This last thing I'm doing. I'm out of here for today.